Good morning, students. Welcome back. So, now in the previous class, we had seen regarding the wave nature of the electromagnetic radiation. Now, let us take a look of the particle nature of electromagnetic radiation. Though the phenomena like the diffraction, interference, and several other phenomena could be explained on the basis of wave nature of electromagnetic radiation, yet the phenomena like the black body radiation, the photoelectric effect, and the line spectrum could not be explained on the basis of the wave nature, but these were explained on the basis of particle nature of the electromagnetic radiation. So what does this black body radiation or photoelectric effect and line spectrum means? So let us take a look of each of them individually. So let us take a look of black body radiation. The ideal body which emits and absorbs radiation of all the frequencies is called as black body, and the radiation emitted by such a body is called as black body radiation. Means what? Any body which should be able to absorb and emit the radiation of all the frequency. Such a type of the body is called as what? Black body. It is observed that at a given temperature, the intensity of the radiation, that is the strength of the radiation emitted, it is going to increase with decrease of wavelength, and it reaches a maximum at a given wavelength, and then it starts decreasing with further decrease of wavelength. So here what happens? First there will be a formation of a curve. So here it is going to increase. What increases? The intensity of the radiation increases. So what is happening? Suppose if you are going to draw the graph, you can see that there will be first increase in the intensity, reaches a maximum, and then further it is going to decrease. So this takes place with that of the wavelength. There is a decrease in the wavelength over here, and this is the intensity. So in that way it is going to vary. This experimental observation could be explained on the basis of particle nature of the radiation. Now, to explain this experiment, Planck proposed the theory which is called as the Planck's quantum theory. Now let us take a look of this Planck's quantum theory. According to the Planck's quantum theory, the postulates are: the atom and molecule could emit or absorb energy only in small discrete quantity called as quanta or a photon. Means what? Suppose if you are going to take atoms and molecules. As we are talking about the structure of the atom, we are going to talk about the atoms and the molecules. So these atoms and the molecules are in a position to either absorb the radiation or to emit the radiation. So they are going to absorb and emit the radiation, and this takes place in packets of energy. The amount of energy which is absorbed or which is emitted, it is in the form of packet of energy, and it is not continuous in the form of a wave, but it is discontinuous. Okay, so it is in the discontinuous pattern. So it is going to form in the packets of energy which is either emitted or it can be absorbed. So such a packet of energy is called as quantum for singular or quanta for more than one atom, or it is also called as a photon when light radiation is considered. So whatever the energy is emitted or absorbed is in the small packet of energy, it is called as quantum or quanta, or also the photon. This is the first postulate. Coming to the next postulate. The energy of the quanta of radiation is proportional to its frequency. So it is seen that the energy whatever is either absorbed or it is released, that is directly proportional to what? It is directly proportional to its frequency. So how can it be expressed? We can express that E is directly proportional to nu. Nu stands for what? It stands for the frequency. E stands for energy, nu stands for frequency. So the energy E is directly proportional to what? Directly proportional to its frequency. Therefore, if you equate this equation, you are going to get E is equal to h nu. So this h is the proportionality constant, which is also called as the Planck's constant. Now, the value of the Planck's constant is how much? That is, h is equal to 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second. So it is seen that the energy is directly proportional to the frequency, and the proportionality constant h, which is called as the Planck's constant, has the value of 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second. Apart from that one, the energy is always emitted in the integral multiple of h nu. So we can write it as E is equal to n times of h nu, where n is an integer. E is equal to h nu stands for one of the atom, whereas E is equal to n times of h nu stands for n number of atoms. So therefore, it is an integral multiple. The energy which is emitted is in the integral multiple of h nu. So instead of writing E is equal to h nu, we write it as E is equal to n times of h nu. So these are some of the postulates of quantum theory which was proposed by Planck. So usually in exams, the question arises over this point about what are the assumptions of Planck's quantum theory. So these three assumptions are important. Now, after assuming that the energy is discontinuous and either it is emitted or absorbed in the form of packets of energy, then further based on this one, we have one more effect to be seen. So the next effect, which is called as the photoelectric effect, which is also explained on the basis of the particle nature of the electromagnetic radiation. So now let us take a look of the photoelectric effect. Now what does this photoelectric effect mean? So the process of emission of electrons from the surface of the metal when they are exposed to light of suitable frequency is called as the photoelectric effect, which was discovered by Hertz. Now what does this mean? Now let us take a look of this diagram. Now in this diagram, it is an experimental setup wherein there is presence of a glass tube which is having a vacuum chamber, means it is evacuated. The air from this glass tube is removed, and there is a metal here towards the right, and towards the left there is an detector. This detector is connected to an ammeter which is going to indicate the presence of the charges in the form of the electric charge. So if there is a deflection here, it is going to indicate the presence of the charged particle, and this is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, and the metal is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. So now what is done is photoelectric effect, means the word photo. Photo means here you have the light. The light falls on the metal surface, and this is going to give the electric charge. So that it means that is the photoelectric effect. From the light we are going to get the electric effect. How we are going to get this one? As you know that the electricity is said in terms of movement of the charged particles like the electrons. Now when the light, note here, it is of the suitable frequency. Not all the light can cause this one. The light of the suitable frequency when it is going to fall on the metal surface. This is the metal surface. When it is going to fall on the metal surface, the electron which is present in the metal gets out of the metal. It is getting ejected. It is removed. When the light of the suitable frequency falls on the metal, the electron from the metal surface is coming out of it. As you know that the electrons are carrying the negative charge, these electrons are attracted towards the positive terminal. This positive terminal is connected with a detector. So the electrons which are coming out of the metal surface comes towards the detector, and in turn it can be seen in terms of the ammeter. The deflection is seen. So it indicates that there is ejection of the electrons. So let us take a look of what are the observations that is seen in case of the photoelectric effect. So the experimental results of photoelectric effect are: the number of electrons ejected is directly proportional to the intensity or brightness of the light. Means what? Whatever the number of electrons, we had considered that these electrons are ejected. So these electrons which are ejected are what? They are going to depend upon the intensity or the brightness of the light. So that is why we are going to consider the suitable frequency light. So when the light falls on this metal surface, the electrons which are ejected, there is no time lag between the striking of the light and the ejecting of the electron from the metal surface. Means what is happening? The moment the light is going to fall on the metal surface, immediately the electron is going to come out of it. So there is no time difference that first the light is going to fall for several time and then the electron is coming out later, nothing like that. As soon as the light is going to fall on the metal surface, the electron comes out immediately from the metal surface. Then after that, the minimum frequency required to cause the photoelectric effect is called as the threshold frequency. Means what? Suppose if you are going to take the light and you are going to pass it over the metal surface, this light should have certain frequency. The minimum frequency required to remove this electron from the metal surface is called as the threshold frequency. If the frequency of this light is lesser than the threshold frequency, the electron is not emitted out of that. So what it means that below the threshold frequency, the photoelectric effect is not observed. So what should be there? The minimum frequency is required to cause the photoelectric effect. This frequency is called as what? Threshold frequency. Apart from that, the kinetic energy of the emitted electron is directly proportional to the frequency of the light used. So now what is going to happen? Whatever this electron is coming out of the metal, so that is having certain amount of energy. Okay, so that energy depends upon what? It depends upon the frequency. Which frequency? The threshold frequency. So threshold frequency means what? Minimum quantity of energy required to remove the electron. But it can be more than that one. So suppose, let me say that if at all the energy which is there for the light, suppose if this is the light which is going to strike the metal surface. Now when it is going to strike the metal surface, here this one will be having certain nu as the frequency, which is greater than the threshold frequency, which we call it as nu naught. Nu naught is what? It is minimum required, minimum quantity of frequency required to remove the electron. But it is observed that this light or this radiation is having the frequency which is greater than the required quantity. So in that case, an equation was proposed by Einstein. So this equation is called as the Einstein's photoelectric equation, which goes like this: H nu is equal to H nu naught to plus half times of MeV square, where h nu, as you know that it is the quantity of the energy, where nu is the frequency of the light and h is the Planck's constant, which is equal to h nu naught. H nu naught here is what? Nu naught is nothing but threshold frequency. So this is the minimum quantity of the energy. E is equal to h nu you have. So in this one, h nu naught is the minimum quantity of the energy which is required. Along with that one, half times of MeV square. Here this quantity half times of MeV square is nothing but it is the kinetic energy. We call it as kinetic energy. So the equation for kinetic energy is half times of MeV square. So what does this Me stands for? Me stands for the mass of the electron or the charged particle, and V stands for the velocity. So half times of MeV square is nothing but the kinetic energy. So the energy which is given out by the electron when it comes out is equal to how much? Minimum quantity of the energy plus the kinetic energy. Together it is having the energy which is equal to h nu. So therefore we have the equation given by Einstein, that is h nu is equal to h nu naught plus half times of MeV square. So based upon this equation and the previous equation, let us solve some of the problems. So this we shall take up in the next video.